Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one after Easter. I am one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach Beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how are you tonight?
I am here. How are you?
Yeah. We were talking off air. I think we both got a couple things going on. Not feeling well, so it's just one of those Sundays, I guess, eh?
One of those days.
Yeah. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us. Thanks to everyone in the chats already. Grabs, Eric, Matthew Anderson. Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a little bit. We are the one after Easter. We took last week off to kind of just do Easter things. I'll start a little bit right now, Chris. I just have something I need to get off my chest. And thankfully,
go for it.
Thank you. Thankfully, we were actually off last Sunday because on Saturday, a week ago yesterday, so that would have been April the 16th, I got a call from my daughter while I was at work, and she told me that my wife was having a heart attack. So I very quickly left work and drove home, half an hour home. I made it just in time for her to be loaded in the ambulance and taken to a hospital, and had the absolute best care she could possibly have. And she's fine. She's home now. But it was very hard on me and my family, obviously, very hard on my daughter, who was the one who called me and had to handle her mother, and my son, who was also there at the time. So there's a lot of hyperbole thrown around about hug the ones you love, all that kind of stuff. And I think I've said that before a bunch of times too, but I couldn't. That statement can't be any more true about loving the ones that are around you. Don't take anything for granted. My wife all the time says, I love you when I leave work. And sometimes I don't say it back just because. I can guarantee you that now I'm going to say it every single time. I'm not going to take for granted that my wife, if she didn't have the care that she was given, might not be here anymore. So it was a very hard week for my family, specifically a hard week for me. But one of the things that I did after it had happened, I told Chris this on the Sunday afterwards, that I was going to kind of trying to take a break from everything, that I had to look after my wife and look after my kids. And one of the things I found, but being off social media isn't the worst thing in the world. That's another thing that kind of gets said a bunch. And, another thing that we kind of take for granted, this vessel, Twitter is a vessel, is using it to air grievances, as to create relationships. Like I've created relationships with many of people, but even the good stuff, like chatting with Chris, Zeddy, and Nico in a DM, even that kind of stuff, it was kind of a weight off my shoulders, not having to talk about Superman or talk about Batgirl or talk about anything. As much as I want to say that, don't take your family for granted, get away from what we're doing right now. Like, don't leave right now. No, but not right now. Later.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's right. It's okay to put it down every once in a while. It's okay to step away and be absorbed in the world that you're in, even the good stuff. Because just having more time with your family is something that I will not take for granted anymore, ever. So I just wanted to get that out there. I haven't really told too many people other than Chris. Just wanted to give him a heads up. So Chris, thanks for letting me kind of get that off my chest and say my piece. And now we can kind of get into our show.
No problem.
So what'd you get up to?
Going well, by the way.
Everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. So what'd you get up to the last 2 weeks? What have you been watching? What have you been reading?
Now I got to think about it. Well, I finished Succession this week. That was kind of my big thing. As you know, I don't keep up with shows very well. I'm horrible with it.
Yeah.
And I think I started Succession in January, I think. And I just finished, what was it? Maybe it was January. I don't know. So. Either way, I just finished the third season, and that is some fantastic television.
Uh-huh.
Like I didn't see a lot of that coming, but I've said it before. These characters are horrible people, but you can't look away from them.
That's right.
And this season really upped the ante on that. I think, like they were especially horrible this season. Logan Roy, especially, even though he's my hero,
Your favorite, yes.
he's amazing. I love Logan Roy. Um, but I just really like the way the characters are written and the way they interact with each other. And the story itself, I think the third season is the best season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, all the cameos and extra stars on there. Like, I love Adrian Brody. I think he's a fantastic actor we don't see a lot of. So, for some reason, he got his Oscar and started doing B movies.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how that happened. But he was great in it. And then, like, Alexander Skarsgård is in some later episodes. Who's another favorite of mine. I first saw him on True Blood as I think his name was Eric Northman. Coincidentally, he's in The Northman now.
That's right.
So that was cool. So I watched Succession, love that. As far as the movies go, I watched most of the Batman again.
Yeah.
Most. My favorite thing is probably the unbearable. Well, I still don't know the title.
You can do it, Chris.
The unbearable weight of massive talent. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you got it. Well, it's funny in our poll that you posted on April 21st. You just put Nick Cage movie.
It didn't fit the box.
Yeah,
it couldn't fit the box. So it was the Nick Cage movie. Everybody knows what it is. That was a huge highlight for me.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that. You're obviously a huge Nick Cage guy. It's obviously Nick Cage to the fullest.
Yes.
So how was the movie? What did you enjoy it? Is it actually a good movie, or is it just fun and stupid?
When we talk good versus fun.
Well, you just talked about Succession. Okay, one of the best shows on TV.
Beast.
Okay, different beast. Yeah.
Chris Housen, that's correct. It's a different beast. So it's fun. It actually does have a real narrative. Because I kind of assumed it was just going to be Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage for 2 hours.
Right.
And I was cool with that. That's kind of what I was hoping for. But I got a bonus because it has a story.
Yep.
And the story makes sense. Yeah. The bonus is the story makes sense. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So it had that. But Pedro Pascal's really entertaining it.
Mm-hmm.
He's fantastic. He's really good. And the chemistry he has with Nicolas Cage is entertaining. The whole cast it's a small group of characters though, but they all work. All the Nicolas Cage, I was called Cageisms or something. I don't know. That was fun. One of my favorite things is the statue of him from Face Off. There's a bit with that, and it's hilarious. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. It's something I liked. I think it's just a fun movie. You don't have to think too much about it. You just watch it. It's Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage, and you get a plot.
I think it was maybe the second trailer that they released for it when they kind of put into the fact that he's working with the CIA or the police or whatever it is.
Yeah, that was in the second trailer, I believe.
Yeah, so that's when that plot was coming. I'm like, oh, it's an actual movie. It's not just Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage for 2 hours.
Right, like Cookie says, I think we were all surprised once you sit down that there was a plot.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's fun. I don't know if it's a must watch. You Cookie, I forget who else. I think Nico is another guy that loves Pig a lot.
Yeah, Pig is great.
I know I can't get behind a serious Nick Cage movie. I feel like I just want to watch Face Off. I just want to watch The Rock.
That's the thing, though. He does so many different kinds of things.
Yeah,
it's kind of like pick your flavor of Nicolas Cage. I like it all, but I can see someone saying, "I only want Con Air Nicolas Cage."
That's right. That's all I want. That's
over the top kind of stuff. Put the bunny back in the box. I get it.
That's right. So great.
A lot of people do consider Leaving Las Vegas his best, but I mean, like I said, there was a tweet about MCU movies yesterday. I said, I don't know about best, but my favorite's probably Face Off.
I think I like The Rock the best.
The Rock is good too. Like
Ed
what?
Harris is really good in that movie. It's got. I always back in the day when the movie came out, I was very fascinated with the JFK assassination and how they blended that into the movie and getting the film at the end. Him and his girlfriend, they go to that. Sean Connery had the film about who actually killed JFK, and he
We
hid it in a church.
we got to rewind for a second.
Okay.
You said when that movie came out, you were obsessed with the JFK murder.
Yeah, that's right.
Weren't you like 10?
I don't know when the movie came out. No way.
I think so.
No way that. How old is that movie? No way. It's
What
26 years
you?
old.
We're going to use the interwebs to find out.
All right. Well, then
It was 96. Yeah, you were like 10.
I was 10. Okay, so that didn't happen. When I saw the movie, which is probably when I was 15 or 16. Thank you, Chris.
Gotcha.
I've been obsessed with the JFK assassination for a long time.
Hey, if you were obsessed at 10, no problem.
That's right.
That's
I
cool.
went hard
curious.
I went hard at 10, man.
I was just curious,
on that
man.
Zapruder film. Yeah, no, I get it.
I also love Family Man.
He's got quite the IMDb page, that's for sure.
He does. But The Rock is a great one. Also, that's Michael Bay, which is fun.
Yep.
That was fun. I think Juan's got a hot take coming, and I'm looking forward to this.
I was yelling enough he attacked. I don't know.
What was it called? Firefox when he was a helicopter fighter pilot. I don't know that one.
No, don't know that one either, Glenn.
I mean, the movie. So that would be Face Off.
Yeah.
But
anyways.
you just pick your flavor, like whichever you like. Like Vampire's Kiss is very goofy, which also I found out recently. Pedro Pascal based his Wonder Woman 84 performance on that performance.
I haven't heard of that one. What's that movie? Vampire's Kiss?
It's where he thinks he's a vampire. It's very 80s.
But he's not a vampire.
No, it's been a while since I've seen it. It's been a while since I've seen it. Imagine like American Psycho, but instead of him thinking he's a vampire, he's. It's kind of similar.
That sounds fun.
It is fun.
It sounds like a Nick Cage movie. So
we don't talk about Alistair. Just like we don't talk about Bruno, there's no Alistair here.
No, yeah.
Biggest villain in DC on film.
It's hard to watch that movie, Wonder Woman 1984, and anytime that kid's on the screen, just to laugh, just because you hate that little boy so much.
Why did he go on the freeway? Not to rehash it, but why did he go on the freeway?
Let's rehash it. Let's go right down the rabbit hole all over again.
The kid walks on the freeway looking for his father when the apocalypse is happening or whatever it was. Who goes on the freeway? It makes no sense. And I understand he's a kid. I never want to walk on the freeway looking for anything. And there's cars on the... Never mind.
Yeah. See what happens when you bring up Alistair's, Eddie? Thanks a lot.
Oh, Firebirds. Okay, I haven't seen that.
Like I said, his IMDb page is a site. It's a site. He's got every kind of movie. And I kind of liked. What was it? A couple of weeks ago that he said he got into some money with trouble with the IRS. So then he just took like all those B movies. He used he took paychecks from movies that were Nick Cage movies. All those those ones that fill up his IMDb page, and he just used it to pay back debt to the IRS. I like it.
He did it.
Yeah, that's right.
Wesley Snipes did the same thing, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. One of the things exactly. There's something for everyone in a Nicolas Cage. Flipping through his profile. So, one of the things I watched recently, and I had a lot of time to do it, was I rewatched. Well, I actually watched. I hadn't seen the fifth one before. Anyways, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I watched all five, and I realized that after seeing the fifth one that I hadn't seen it before. I think we talked about this a while ago, talking about the idea that Johnny Depp is kind of, by the end of the series, is just playing like a caricature of himself as Jack Sparrow. But that first one, and even the second one, Dead Man's Chest, is very good. Specifically, the first one I had a great time with it. The action specifically in Dead Man's Chest is very good. There's the scene where they, the three of them, they go on like a church or something, and there's the water wheel, that gets broken off a building, and they're kind of doing like an action. The action set piece feels like it's like 45 minutes long.
I remember it being very long.
Yeah, well, those movies are so very long.
They are. They're
Up
close
until
to 3 hours, I think, right?
yeah, the third one at World's End, I think, is 2 hours and 50 minutes. And they make the change afterwards for the fourth and fifth one. They go just over 2 hours. Those movies feel like a pocket in time of big, grand movies. The CGI in those first couple are still very good. Like Davy Jones and his whole crew, the ones that look like fish and barnacles and all that stuff. I think they look great. Johnny Depp is very good, and still all of them that he does. Even by the end of it, he's just a little playing too much Jack Sparrow for me. But I had a great time there. Also, my son had a great time with them. And the other thing I realized when watching them, the first three, and specifically even the second and third one, like there's a lot of blood and there's a lot of murder.
Yeah.
In one of the opening scenes of the second one, I think Jack is at a prison or something, and there's prisoners inside like a cage of some kind, and like birds are coming and like pecking their eyeballs out. And then the start of the third one, they just hang, I want to say 20, 30, 50 pirates and a kid pirate. So it's very strange. Disney movie, obviously an updated version of a Pirates of the Caribbean is Jungle Cruise that came out recently. And that's very much PG, not good for kids all around. But it's really interesting how much violence was in those early Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Chris, what do you think about those ones? Have you seen all of them?
I do love the violence. No, I have not watched the last one, the fifth one. You said I have not watched that one, but I've seen the other four. I love the first one. I adore it. I think it's an amazing piece of cinema. The second and third ones I remember liking, not loving. I thought the fourth one with Penelope Cruz was not bad. It was entertaining. I made the mistake of seeing it in 3D though. That's the only time I've ever watched it, and I just had a headache afterward. So I don't know if that was from the movie or the 3D. But I remember not hating the movie.
Well, that's what I mean about like a pocket in time. The 3D was really big at that time. The CGI big things. Movies were getting more and more grand, big, and that kind of thing. I hate 3D movies.
I do too.
Do you dislike all of 3D movies? How many have you seen, do you think?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest one I saw was Avatar, and I think everybody saw that one in 3D just because that was the thing. That's how it made all the money, because of 3D tickets.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that was cool, but every other 3D movie I've seen, I could honestly say I didn't like it. I saw First Avenger in 3D actually the first time, did not like that. When I watched it at home, I enjoyed the movie much more too. I've seen a few though. I've seen a handful. But the only one I think I've liked was Avatar, just because that was different tech, and I mean it was Avatar. Not saying it was a great movie or anything. It's just the way it was made.
I remember seeing Lego Batman in 3D. I went with my daughter and a friend of hers and my wife. The start of that movie is there's so much explosion. There's Lego pieces everywhere, and they're all 3D, and it just gave me a headache by the end of it. I just watched I think it was the last half of the movie without the glasses on, just because it was less of a headache to see the blur than it was to see all of the pieces all of the time in 3D.
Yeah, there's times in 3D movies where I've taken the glasses off when I have had to sit through when I've taken the glasses off, just like you, and just sat there for a couple minutes without them just to kind of refresh, And normally, I mean, when I saw some in 3D, it was only because that was the only showing available, and I just really wanted to see it there and then. Like that was the case with First Avenger, for example. For Stranger Tides, the Pirates movie, I voluntarily went with 3D. I don't know why. Maybe I thought, hey, this will be fun, and it wasn't.
Do they still make movies in 3D? Is
so
that
about
still a thing?
I didn't know that was a thing, but then when I got my Doctor Strange ticket, there are 3D showings for that, and they're 3D IMAX. I'm not doing it, but they're there.
I like that. I'm not doing it, but they're there.
Right. I'd like to just watch the movie in 2D. It's comfortable. I don't have to wear glasses. I already wear glasses. It's uncomfortable enough. We're good.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned Avatar there too. I wonder about the second and third one, if they're going to be full on 3D. And James Cameron's always like you said, he was the one that kind of ushered in the era of 3D with Avatar. I wonder if
Yeah.
he'll try and do that again with the sequel and the third one.
Well, unless there's 3D on Disney Plus, I'm not seeing it. So
Yeah.
I'm not excited for those movies at all.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not really a fan of it. And also, I mean, if you've seen Dances with Wolves, you've seen Avatar,
Or Pocahontas.
or
Yep.
Pocahontas, or Fern Gully, or any number of films like that.
Ah, Fern Gully. What a good time.
Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls. It's all the same thing.
It's all the same.
I'd rather watch Ace Ventura.
I would too, actually.
I'm up for a third one if they want to do it. I'm just saying. If Jim Carrey's
Did you
watching.
Did you see the one with the kid? What was it?
No,
Young
I
Ace
haven't seen
Ventura
it.
or
I
whatever?
haven't seen
Me
it.
neither.
I don't need that. I won't,
You don't need that kind of stuff in your life?
No. I don't need that in my life right now. I watch enough crap as it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's enough of that.
Right, I could find another Vampire B movie I'll enjoy more.
Exactly right. What do you read this week? Any standout thing for your on your stack?
I didn't read a single issue this week.
Whoa.
I have not had a lot of interest in, okay, so I think the thing for me is, actually, hold on. Is Battle for the Armies one of the Hobbit films?
Yeah,
because I don't know the subtitles of them.
I think that's the third one.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to see that, but I just didn't get around to it. I think lately I just have zero interest in what DC is doing. And most of what I want to read now is indie titles. How the switch has happened, I don't know. I kind of blame our friend Lost in Comics in the comments.
Ah, that's who it is, eh?
Them, you, of course.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, really though. I'm just not as much into like the big two anymore. I'm really more interested in the indie stuff lately, and so that kind of has brought my pull list down quite a bit because I'm just waiting for like Reign #5 at this point.
Sure.
Or I lost track of Bolero, but I got to pick that back up. Stuff like that. So the last book I read, I think, was Reign #4, which was fantastic. I really, really like that one a lot. Reign to me rivals the what was the Layla Starr book called? I can't remember right now.
Many Deaths of Layla Starr.
I was gonna say The Many Lives. Yeah, for me, Reign is this year's Many Deaths of Layla Starr.
Wow,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's high praise. That's for sure.
It's really special. If you've been following along with it, you get this interesting character. I like the world that they've built. I like that there's consequence in it, and despite it being kind of a larger than life setting in a way with the crystal rain or the rain needles, it remains very human, and the characters are, and like the 4th issue is such a roller coaster of emotion because it starts out with something big, in the middle there's something bigger, and then it ends on a completely different note, and you're like, how did we get here? I mean, I need a drink after that or something. I don't even drink, really. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, just reading indie stuff. And I did read, I don't know if we talked about last time, or I think we did, the vampire book. The kids.
West of Sundown? Or Little Monsters.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. And I did read some Marvel stuff, but it was the usual Moon Knight, which was fantastic, as usual. And of course, X-Men stuff. I'm always reading X-Men stuff.
Going back to you kind of not liking what DC is doing right now, do you think you're basing that based on the biggest title that they have in Batman, and we're not liking it? You're not liking it? Do you think that's the major reason?
No, I just want something different, I guess. I think I'm just I like broadening my horizons, as they say. The journey into indie comics is becoming a bigger journey at this point. But I do. There are some stuff I want to read. Plus, another thing is I'm really behind on a lot of these books, like Batman. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So that is something I'm going to get back to because it's Batman, and I have to.
Eventually.
But I just haven't had a chance to catch up to the point where I would know what's going on. Although I hear Shadow Alpha is really good, so I'm excited to check that out. And I did like the First World's Finest. I know the new one was out this week, I think. So I got to catch up on that. There are a few books I want to read, but as a whole, I've just kind of been more into the indie stuff.
Yeah, well, there's just so many books to read.
There
You do
are.
have to, and And it, like the conversation always comes about, comics are too expensive and comics are too expensive. Well, if you buy 15 books a week, heck yeah, that's expensive. But if you kind of pick and choose, and like it sounds like what you're doing, you're not buying a DC book just because it's a DC book. If you don't like it, if you're not interested in it, you won't buy it. And on the flip side, if you come up with if you see an indie book that grabs your attention, you seem like you're more at it to give that a chance over giving a DC book a chance.
Kind of right. Also, I have the DC app, so I always feel like, okay, I can come back around to it. That's another thing too. With the indie book, for me, once it's gone, it's gone. Mm-hmm. Especially at my store, or I just buy online now. I'll forget about it.
Yeah,
that's kind of the way I feel as far as that goes. But I just like to read different stuff. I like the variety. And I never really paid attention to that before.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. Like you said, the indie books are just gone. With Image, they only do a first printing now. There's no second or third or whatever. Right. So if you don't get that book in the shops, that's it. You didn't get it unless you find it, secondhand somewhere else or pay more for it somewhere else as well. So yeah, it's tough.
And you know me, if I see a cover I like, I'm probably going to read it no matter what it is.
Yep.
I like covers.
No doubt.
Yeah, I would say the only thing I've read worth mentioning was Rain. The other stuff is like I said, Moon Knight and X-Men stuff.
Yeah, guys, if you want to hear more about our Moon Knight talk, you can be sure to check out Moon Knighting, which you'll find in our podcast feed. We should find a way to talk about the Moon Knight comics, maybe somehow, though.
Moon Knight is still going.
Yeah, it's been going for a long time now.
It's been a great time.
4 weeks. Great time. Yeah, we should try and find some time maybe to talk about the Moon Knight books that are happening right now. I think it's your favorite Marvel title right now.
Yes.
I don't know if those X-Men ones are
Moon Knight is good. Or... Oh, they are good. They are good. Immortal X-Men is as our friend Nico would say, elite.
Hey, I like the way Nico, when he says it, he finds different ways to say it on Twitter too. Like he'll capitalize the E, and then there'll be a space, and then a small L, and then the T will be.
It's hidden.
Yeah,
we need a cipher sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. I'm with you for books, Cookie. Yeah, that's not uncommon. Don't worry about it.
It'll all make sense soon. We hope.
Yeah, maybe.
Or if it doesn't, I mean, Steven's a good bloke. Right, nice fellow.
Yeah, there it is. Thanks, Eddie. That's how it's done. So I read a couple of things, but nothing that really, got me excited too much. I read pretty much like you. I read Rain 4 that was a couple weeks ago. I'm still on the last book you'll ever read. It's only got one more issue after this one, so I'm pretty excited to pick that up. It's an interesting thing about the last book you'll ever read. They have a cover A variant, and then a black bag variant, which it's X-rated. So it's like in a black slip bag.
Why is it X-rated?
Like
the cover is.
Yeah, the cover, it's got full-on nudity on the cover, or violence in some case. I hadn't bought any up until this point because I was sticking pretty heavy to or actually flipping back and forth between, I think Jen Hickman does the variants, and then the artist.
Those are the ones I like.
Yeah, and then the artist on the book itself, Lisa Lees, or I can't remember the woman's name. Anyway, so I've decided for the last issue, I'm going to go with the black bag one. And it's tough because you don't know what it is. You don't know how sexy it is or how violent it is until you get it, or until a few days.
Fun.
Yeah, it's kind of.
My shop doesn't do that. I'm lucky. I was lucky when I was reading it. I was lucky just to find copies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Layla Lies, or Lees, is the artist on the book who does the other covers. So I've been flipping back and forth between the covers, just trying to find one that I like, because sometimes I don't like the Hickman ones and sometimes I don't like the Lees ones. But this will be and I'm not sure if Gun Honey did this too with their X-rated covers.
No,
I don't remember if they did or not. Anyway, so this black bag variant is kind of cool to me. I'm going to see what happens when I get it, and I'll cross my finger that it's super sexy, I guess.
That's the new expectation for it. Just be super sexy. That's all we want.
Super sexy.
If it's a black bag, I want some sexy.
Lauren's asking how the last book you'll ever read has been. It's been off and on. It was pretty heavy there and nonstop for, I want to say, the first 3 issues or so. I think that's when, Chris, you were still reading it, and then I feel like you dropped it not soon after that.
I think I read the third one. I dropped it.
The story just didn't go anywhere very quickly, and you can tell they had a break for a little while where issue number 4 or 5 was delayed for a few weeks, and I feel like they took that time to wrap the story up in a certain way. So it was issue 4. Between issue 4 and 5 there was a break. So issues 5, 6, and 7 that came out 2 weeks ago are really trying to move it. That feels tonally different. Where if I don't know, Chris, if you remember those first couple issues with I can't remember the woman's name.
The writer,
name? Olivia,
the author, yeah,
Olivia. You almost felt like she was enjoying the violence that was happening, and I think Chris and I talked about this. Maybe she wrote it wanting to create violence in some way. She was kind of neutral to the whole thing, and now in these last issues, she's like, "Oh, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just writing something." Yeah, it feels like a very tonal switch. There's still lots of violence in it. There's still lots of weird nudity in it. The paneling is still very strange. The panel placement, page layouts.
I like that.
Strange. I like it too. It just adds a very weird and crazy look to the whole book. But yeah, it's definitely faltered towards the end. Specifically, like Chris said, from Lost in Comics, it started off really good, but when they feel like after their break, they're trying to wrap it up and change the story somehow. So we'll see what happens. I think issue 8 that comes out in a few weeks will be the last one. There's nothing solicited after that. But it's a wild and crazy book. That's for sure.
But I dropped it for a dumb reason. Not because I didn't like the story, because I couldn't get the Hickman cover. And I was like, well, if I can't get the set, right, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I know that was dumb, but I was also reading a bunch of other stuff at the time. So I was like, well, whatever. I'll read it eventually.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
I'll read it when it gets to this, when I get to my stack.
Yeah, you're never going to get through it. Don't bother.
I will one day. I'll even read what is the big Batman book called? Was it One Dark Knight? The one like the oversized book?
Yeah, the one that Jock's doing. Yeah, One Dark Knight.
I'll even read that because I have it.
You didn't read the first one yet?
No.
You got that cool cover too.
And it's in the cubby hole with other books stacked on top of it.
I really thought I wasn't going to like that book, and it's great. The second issue just came out really recently, or not recently, but I just got my copy a little while ago. I'm still very surprised that I liked the book as much as I did because I wasn't totally excited on it at the start.
Well, anything Batman I'll usually check out. But yeah. Grabs is with me on the cover thing, so I think it's a valid reason.
Yeah, he's always trying to save a few bucks, that boy.
Yeah, in fact, if you haven't checked out Grab's YouTube channel, you absolutely should. His channel is based upon budgeting for the month of comics, so make sure and check that out.
I haven't checked it out. Have you? I'll just watch it and answer my own question. I want to see what kind of stuff he usually buys. He likes, I like it when he buys something he did it recently when he bought issue number 1 of Sweet Tooth, and he got it for a great deal on somewhere eBay or some kind of comic site. I like it when Grabs does that. He gets those good steals of, a Holy Grail issue or a key issue. I like it when he does that.
Do you have a Holy Grail issue?
That I own?
No, that you would want.
Oh, no, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. As many comics as I have or I don't have, I buy them to read them. I don't buy them to collect them or to think about selling them afterwards, which was a lot of people do that. Like Grabs, he could have bought that Sweet Tooth issue number 1. I think he got it for a great deal. He could turn that around right now and sell it and make 10 times what he paid for it. I have a hard enough time just reading a book. I can't find any more stressful time to try and figure out to buy it and sell it and try and get money back for it.
I just like buying books to stack in my cubby holes.
Yeah, exactly. It's giant paperweight for you, Chris.
It works. In fact, this one, is getting messy, so I had to move some stuff around. Also, I found this, which I didn't know I had, so that's fun.
What is that?
I don't know. It's like a pencil back or something. You put
Is it from Justice League?
I have no idea what it's from. I just found it.
Like the Wayne Aerospace, isn't that?
Yeah, it
his
says
banner?
WBE something. So Wayne Aerospace.
Yeah, it's like it's a pencil case. I love it.
Yeah, it's neat. I'll find something to do with it. But right now, it's in the stack.
It's in the bottom of the stack or the top of the stack?
No, just a stack. I'd call it the hole, but that would sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the cubby hole.
So, do you have a Holy Grail issue that you'd like to have?
Maybe the first Detective Comics, the first one, or I really want the first appearance of Wolverine in the Incredible Hulk issue. I really want that. So yeah, either one of those would probably do it for me.
Nice. Did you read or have you heard about that Wolverine patch book?
I have, but okay. So I love Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't need a patch book.
What is it? What is patch? What is this?
Patch is so okay. Bruce Wayne has Matches Malone. Wolverine has Patch.
Gotcha.
That's basically what Patch is, and he wears.
And you don't like Patch?
No, I don't like Patch. I don't need Patch. I mean,
I don't need him.
Right. I just kind of like standard Wolverine, whether it's Logan or Laura. That's kind of what I like. I don't need, spy Wolverine.
Spy Wolverine.
If he's used in a story, cool. But if it's a story all about Patch, no, I'm out for that. I'll just reread another book that he made that they have.
Are you gonna get I know you're not buying physical right now, but are you gonna get the collected of X Lives, X Deaths of Wolverine?
I think I will.
Do you think it'll read? I can't remember if you had a troublesome time going back and forth with reading those ones. Don't get Lauren started on who the Wolverine should be.
I mean, it's a valid point. They're both Wolverine. I've been saying I want a book called The Wolverines with both Logan and Laura. It's gold.
That would be gold. How is it they not done that yet?
Because they didn't hire me. They said no.
Well,
and actually, they said, please stop mailing us things. I didn't have a problem going back and forth through the book. What I had an issue with is that they were wildly different. There was no connection until the last issue of each book. That was the problem I had. So yeah, if you were to put them in a volume together, I don't even know how they would do it. If they would have, one lives, one deaths, one life, or anything like that, or just do all the lives, all the deaths, and he would read it that way. I don't know, but it was a great story.
I feel like those X-Men books have good looking covers, good looking hard covers, and good looking collections too.
They do. They do a lot with the X-Men stuff because it's X-Men. It sells. So people kind of gravitate toward it, and these new stories are not they're not new reader friendly. So you kind of need to entice people by saying, "Hey, come read this pretty hardcover book. We have nice art and good stories. You like that, right? Oh, by the way, the lore is nuts." So
yeah, you won't be able to keep a track.
Good luck. But I think I do want to buy that when it comes out.
I forgot to mention this when I talked about something that I watched. I started watching that the show HBO Max show Tokyo Vice.
I've been hearing about that. What exactly is it?
So it's about a character, Ansel Elgort, is a journalist, and he starts working at a Japanese newspaper. And Yakuza, obviously, in Japan, they are murdering people, and there's a certain crime that they're committing, and he finds it and wants to write about it. But his editor or the owner of the paper are very, I don't want to say pro Yakuza or scared of Yakuza, so they don't let him write it. So it's just kind of him telling this, or him trying to find the story. him working with cops. The main lead cop in it is Ken Watanabe, which is very good, obviously. Anyway, so it's the two of them right now. I'm 4 episodes in. It's the two of them trying to, and the cop, Ken Watanabe, is feeding him details that he can't print. It's the kind of the working together. So it's about an American journalist in Japan working at a Japanese newspaper trying to write about the Yakuza crimes.
That is not at all what I thought it was, so that sounds better.
Well, that's good. It's very good. And the first episode specifically is incredible. It takes a turn a little bit after that. It adds in some new characters. And is less focused on Ansel Elgort's character than I thought. It actually focuses on at least two other characters more than I expected, which is pretty interesting how that works. And, the Japanese criminal underworld is always kind of a fascinating thing. They do things very differently over there, whether it be specifically, and now we're seeing it in print, in the news, but also the way the police work. As well. And Ansel Elgort, we talked about it when we talked about West Side Story a couple weeks ago. He's just basically a cardboard cutout sometimes.
Yeah, he's kind of just like a piece of, you know how when they say the CGI actors talk to a tennis ball? He's the tennis ball.
Anyways, this tennis ball is much better. He's very good.
He's a high quality tennis ball, like the expensive.
Yeah, that's right. He's not those crappy ones that you get at like the dollar store. He's like
not the ones I'm gonna throw
high price on. Okay. Yeah, that's right. No dog chewing tennis balls. This is Serena Williams hitting the best tennis balls in the world kind of tennis ball.
Good to know. Also, I just remembered something. We were talking about we'll get back to Sam, sorry. We were talking about Holy Grails earlier of comics and stuff. Yeah. Lost in Comics did an episode on that, I believe. So check out our friends over there. We're plugging everybody tonight. Check out our friends. Who
else?
Over
Anybody
there.
else? Anybody else?
Lauren is also here. Check out her show as well. But
that's good, yeah.
Check out Lost in Comics because I believe they did a Grail episode. And it was, I'm pretty sure that was a whole episode. It was very interesting. And a lot of cool stuff was on there. Anyway, though, I want to watch Tokyo Vice because I like Ken Watanabe. And so I thought it was like Miami Vice, but it was set in Tokyo. And they were like, a young American cop comes to Tokyo to do something. And older Japanese cop has to show him the ropes, and they have conflict. That's what I thought it was.
You're not that you replace the young cop for young journalists, and you're right there, Chris. You're on the precipice of exactly what the show is. So
I think that may be one of the only times that I've looked at something and guessed what it was and been close.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder if there was a poster for the show. I wonder if that would have helped or hurt you.
I saw the poster. And check out Vigilante 1939. Zeddy's right. I saw the poster, and that's where I got the idea that it was Miami Vice, but with Tokyo Vice.
Nice.
That's where I had the idea. I said, that's probably why they got Ansel Elgort, because he could just be there while Ken Watanabe yells at him. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I'm in for that.
A little bit.
I loved Ken Watanabe. He was so good in Last Samurai.
I tried watching that the other day. I don't know why I couldn't get through it. If you scroll on your Facebook feed or you scroll through YouTube, you just see clips of movies. Mm-hmm. I watched Last Samurai clip. It was the scene where he's yelling at the young guy, Tom Cruise's character yelling at the young guy, and he's like standing in front of him, asking him to shoot him. Yeah, I know. Grouchy the best. And then I watch another clip and another clip, and I'm like, I should watch the movie. And then I'm like, I just watched the movie on the clips. I don't need to watch the movie again for.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
I think it's like one of Tom Cruise's best performances because it's rare to see him not play himself. Like, there's only 3 movies in my mind that I could say he doesn't play himself. So, Last Samurai is one of those 3, and it's cool to see it.
What's your other 2?
Interview with the Vampire and Collateral.
I would add another one and say Magnolia. You ever seen that movie?
I've not seen Magnolia. I've heard about it, but I've not seen it.
He plays it's like it could be him now, but the stuff that he says and the way he talks in that movie, doesn't sound very much like Tom Cruise sometimes.
It's one of those things. Of course, it's on the list. I'll get to it, but I'll get to it. That would be 4 though, so that's cool. But the other 3 I think are pretty solid. Like Collateral is one of my favorite movies. Period. I love Collateral, and he's fantastic in it. By the way, every time I say fantastic, the show, you guys should take a shot. You might be drunk by now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Zeddy says no love for the Mummy. Did you see? I think it was a couple days ago. The director of the movie, Alex Kurtzman, I think,
I did.
that he shouldn't have done it.
He regrets it deeply, and I don't blame him. I regret having to sit through it. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad, but I don't think it was that bad.
I haven't seen it.
I am also going through Ted Lasso withdrawal. I think that's why I have the mustache. I think that's what it is. No love for the Mummy. I did Tomorrow's also very good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, the idea of separating who a person is from their movies is nowhere or is ever present in my love for Tom Cruise movies. He's a weirdo. He does weird things. He's involved with a weird cult that does weird things. But man, his movies are so friggin' entertaining, and I will watch every Tom Cruise movie I can get. I can watch any
Even
of them.
the Mummy.
Even the Mummy, if I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, wait a second.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. Anyways, all of his movies are very good. I like them. Like his somebody mentioned it. He's in his early stuff, like the crime drama. What's the one where he works at a lawyer's office?
The Firm.
Crap. The Firm. That one, very good. And Top Gun. Chris is going to watch Top Gun. He's going to watch Top Gun. Chris is going to watch Top Gun.
I am going to watch Top Gun.
And all of his Mission Impossible movies, and he gets a lot of hate, and I think a lot of people, I just love his movies. I love watching his movies. Like, I don't know if we talked about this earlier when we were talking about Nicolas Cage. Like, he makes movies that you enjoy.
I forgot Tropic Thunder. He is not playing himself in Tropic Thunder.
There you go.
Les Grossman is not Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
He is his own thing.
Yeah, and like Last Samurai. It's a great movie. He's great in it. It's hard to say or to eloquently say how much you like somebody in movies, but I just like Tom Cruise movies. That's it.
I do love Jerry Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Things are brewing in the chat. There's a Ted Lasso party.
Lauren, don't start another thing. You've already started the Saga Book Club. That's going to take us 9 months to finish. We can't start a Ted Lasso watch party.
The Saga Book Club is a wonderful time.
I agree with you. It's a great time. I love flipping through the book during your guys' conversation about it.
Violently flipping
because yeah, that's right. Violently, like right by the book.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Too late cookie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The people want that's true.
If it's Ted Lasso, people should watch it in any way they can. That's for sure.
Yes. I can't get to. Can I get to the sign?
Get to it.
Wait, that's not the sign. That's a receipt.
How is that thing not taped to your computer? It should be taped to like above the webcam, so you can just like flop it down right in front of the webcam.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do that next week if I can.
There you go. It's little tape. Nothing major.
Yeah, I just made a lot of stuff false, so I'll have to deal with that later. The thing was not one of them.
So that's what we read and what we watched this week, guys. We didn't have there it is. Beautiful. We didn't have a scientific poll
just curious.
last week. We just a curiosity poll. We just wanted to know what you were going to see in the theaters. The big winner was Batman on HBO Max. With the other options were The Bad Guys, the Nick Cage movie, and The Northman. The Batman on HBO Max. Chris, you said you watched part of it?
Most of it, yeah.
Is that the only you haven't seen it yet, or all the way through?
No, I haven't sat down to watch all the way through yet. I haven't really had time, and whenever I do sit down to watch it, it seems like the dog knows I want to watch it. And like the first time, the dog, the start of the movie when we hear there's something in the way for the first time, for whatever reason, the dog went ballistic. I don't know. I don't know what it was about that song that just sent like a message to her. It's time for violence. So there was that, and then I watched most of it last night, but I kept having to get up and stuff. So I might finish it tonight, but I really want to the flight attendant.
Yeah, I watched it, and I split it up over 2 days, which I was grateful that I could do. One of the biggest complaints that I had watching it in the theaters was just that the movie was too long. It
Mhm.
was too late at night for me personally. It really cemented the fact that how much I hate the movie theater. But watching it at home, split up over 2 days, was glorious, and it uh, amplified my enjoyment of the movie greatly. It was really good seeing things
Mhm.
a lot more clear as well.
Mhm.
Um, on a screen obviously closer to me. I can change the lighting if I need to, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm glad I watched it. Like Zeddy says, he watched it 3 times. I don't think it's that big of a hassle to split it up over 2 days and watch it. I think it actually makes a lot more sense than sitting down and watching it a full 3 hours. I think it. I hope it's gonna. I hope that when people watch it, they enjoy it just as much or maybe more than they did in the theaters, because that's what I did. I enjoyed it more than when I saw it for the first time.
You know, the length didn't bother me any of the 3 times I saw it in the theater. And watching when I did a bit last night, I didn't have a problem with it either because for me it kind of blows by.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. I get engrossed in it, and I keep thinking like even now it's like, oh, it's over now. I was ready for more, which I know is
Right.
weird to say considering it is 3 hours. Also,
Yeah. Like
fun.
I said,
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
A fun little extra: if you watch that deleted scene, the special one, which is on HBO Max, also under the
Oh
extras
yeah.
tab. Yeah, on the extras tab of HBO Max, when you go to the movie, you can watch the deleted scene on HBO Max. But what's cool about it is it puts it to where you can see where it was in the movie
Oh, that's
because it
cool.
plays a clip, not a clip, but like the lead into it, so you see
Right.
exactly where it fit, and that's pretty cool.
We don't have that here. Where does it lead in from?
Right after the scene where Batman and Gordon are at the morgue looking at
Yep.
the commissioner's rat trap deal.
Right.
It's
Interesting.
right after that, which is kind of what I
Yeah.
guessed, because
Hmm.
that seemed to be where it would have fit in anyway. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I wish we had that option up here.
Hmm. Just curious, which scenes grabs? Grab says, I feel they could have shortened so many scenes and lost nothing. I'm just kind of curious which ones. But you said that which movie won the poll? I'm sorry.
Batman and HBO Max. They won the
Oh, it
poll,
did. Okay.
46%. Yep. So I think, and we added it. Chris added it to our scientific poll that came out today. I think that's kind of going to be the fourth answer from now on forever until the until we actually get a fourth question. So guys, head over to our Twitter page right now. We've got a question up there. How do you like your Superman? We want to know if you like the classic Boy Scout, you like a flawed Superman, if you like a mix and match, or if the Batman is on HBO Max. Um, right now, people seem to like the mix and match that works best for them. We'll get into that next week, Chris, a little bit, maybe a little bit of a teaser about, Superman's been in the news lately, that's for sure. Speaking of the Vigilante 1939, they're going pretty heavy on if Superman is popular with the GA right now in comics. There's talk about Ta-Nehisi Coates' screenplay that he's got going on, about what's happening with Michael B. Jordan's movie, J.J. Abrams. We have no idea. Chris, you are the poll master. What's the thought and reasoning behind a Superman poll for you?
It's just been the Superman debate feels like it's been going on for a month now,
Yeah.
and I'm just kind of curious what some people think of it. That's all. Get some opinions about it. I'm just kind of curious because one thing that nobody, well, okay, so we see a lot of people saying what other people want. I
Mm-hmm.
guess there's a lot of that going on, and a lot of, well, this is what I want, and so on. And that's kind of what I'm more interested in. What do you want, as opposed to what do you think audiences want based on box office numbers and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Just what do you want?
Right on. So yeah, make sure you head on to our Twitter account where we have polls every Sunday or sometimes Mondays, depending on the day. I'm the result keeper. I keep the results under my hat, and I will let you know next week, Grabs, who the winner of said poll is. No main topic this week. We just wanted to wrap it up with everything that we had going on over the last 2 weeks. Chris, anything else you want to chat about before we get on out of here?
Moon Knight is great.
Moon Knight is great. All right. Hit us up with some plugs there then, Chris.
Okay, you guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. Zeddy just caught me in the comments. You are cursed. So you and I, before we head out, this just reminded me, you and I have talked about wrestling a little bit, and I've showed you that character, Danhausen.
Danhausen?
Yeah, he's like I don't know, he's like a zombie kind of character. I don't know, he's fun. Anyway, I sent Zeddy something last night. I said I'm Chris Hausen, and so now his catchphrase is "You are cursed." He does this thing. So
I just Googled him. What a scene that guy is.
Yeah, he's great. Anyway, I've not seen him do anything other than like interviews, and I love it. But anyway, yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. But as usual, I prefer you guys follow the show over at G of the Geeks. We have cool YouTube stuff and podcast things that Emmett explains better than I do.
Yeah, Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube where you're watching this right now. So make sure you like and subscribe. But we are also in your podcast feed. So wherever you get your podcast, make sure you search for Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us. Glenn, keep those votes coming, man. Get all your friends in there. See if you can get that low poll question or answer up there. Yeah, you think so, Zeddy? Make sure you follow me at EmmettDavis7 on Twitter as well. In saying all that, for Chris and I'm Emmett, and we gather on Sundays.
Later, Gators.